Forgot that was muted. But ladies and gentlemen, after just about 2, maybe even 3 weeks of an absence for the McDonald's Cup Series, we have returned for the month of May, my favorite month of the entire year. We're getting ready to go racing here at the Talladega Super Speedway. 94 laps of action here at this 2.66 mile facility. Last where we left off back in April, I would say, I think it was the 16th of April or the 23rd of April. Either way, we had a caution-free race at the Texas Motor Speedway that saw Tatiana Nogueira nab their first win of their career and also of the season. On top of that, I mean, did you get some pretty good position in the point standings? There's also something else I need to do real quick. So you're gonna see all this other stuff on the side because I need to turn off my sound alerts. There we go. Those have been turned off. Everything is 100% good, clear, and ready to go as far as stream-wise. But here at the Talladega Super Speedway, this is our first Super Speedway race since Daytona all the way back in February. And as far as this one, this track is much wider, of course, than Daytona. So you're going to see a lot of, not just a lot of 3-wide racing, but more importantly, you're probably going to see some 4-wide, maybe even 5-wide action if these drivers feel a little bit more frisky than usual. But also, there's a good chance that we might see some drivers kind of get on the brakes or maybe let off the throttle just a little bit and kind of fade a little bit more towards the back of the field. And that might spread this pack out a little bit as far as just mostly as far as like how, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But as far as the racing is concerned, we're in for a treat as far as good, hard, super speedway, pedal to the metal racing. There's a chance we might go caution free, but, you know, fingers crossed we don't see that, but you never quite know. Let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings heading into today's race here at the Talladega Super Speedway. These are after Texas. Of course, John Andrews holding on to the points lead by 8 points over Val Mosco, who has 209 in his bank account. Will Parrish sitting in the 3rd spot with 185 to his credit. Alex Savatali, our Martinsville winner, is 167 points. Has 167 points in his bank account. Ensign Hernandez rounds out the top 5 with 163. BB Haynes, our Daytona 500 winner, with 154. Michael DeFeo, who won at Fontana, has 153 points in his pocket. Then Skylar Taylor, 152. Dale Johnson, 148. And Tyler Belladonna, our Phoenix winner, has 145 points to his credit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of those point standings for you. There you see the lone winner, Tatiana Nogueira, who is all the way down to the very, very bottom of the point standings as far as the roster is concerned. Now they jump up to 29th in the standings with that win and have entered the triple digits. Travis Crampton, another driver who needed a really good run, got it at Texas a few weeks ago. He now finds himself 35th in the point standings. He finds himself 35th in the point standings, but still great run. But as we're going to find, as you are going to see, as the season does progress, it is going to get a little bit harder to move your way up through the point standings, the more points that these drivers do pick up. So might as well start getting some really good runs, start performing, start winning. And you might find yourself inside of the top 10 by the time we get to the maybe 5 races to go, maybe even the championship race. Cookie, thank you so much for the wish. Thank you so much for the wish. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. On our 1-year affiliate anniversary, that is absolutely unbelievable. But focusing back in, I can't even talk. But here's a look at your starting lineup. Of course, we've got Mitchell Bryan starting on the pole for this race. Skylar Taylor lining up alongside. Stephen Colon sitting in 3rd. Then Zachary Fitzwater in 4th. Then Bob Floyd completed the top 5. With Edson Hernandez, Daniel Adams, Ryan Durrani, Michael Young, Sebastian Palmer completing the top 10. Then take a look at the rest of your starting lineup. There's BB Haynes, Alex Savatali, Rampus, DeFeo, Walker, Stapleton, Wells, Parrish, Simpson, Wood, Murray, Felber, Derek Hamill, Kyler Sustride, John Andrews, our points leader, starting towards the back of the field. And when it comes down to these super speedways, it's never really a matter of where you start. It's always the matter of where you finish that counts the most. So for John Andrews, probably working his way up to the front, maybe no fluke, depending on which positions he puts himself in. Then we have Travis Crampton, Matthew Hubert, Dale Johnson II, Sammy Cars, Tatiana Noguera, our Texas winner, completing the top 30. And then Gronkowski, Roberto Crown Jr., Val Moscow, PJ Vidal. We got Nia Steidel, Josh Lee, Bryce Egan, Rogel Dorn, Matt Jones, Colin Block, Tyler Belladonna, and Wyatt Walker starting caboose on the field here for today's race. Today's 94-lapper, the Geico 500, right here, the Talladega Superspeedway. So glad that you guys could be joining us here on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, everybody. Let's go trackside and get the command to fire the engines.
Runners, start your engines!
Engines are fired, pace car is rolling off. And so are these 42 drivers for the first time since April. Back in Texas, had ourselves a good 2-3 week break for the McDonald's Cup Series, but now we're getting set to go back at it in the month of May. An entire month where these drivers will be duking it out. Do have a special announcement coming up. We'll probably announce it once we get to, I believe we're going to Darlington next week. So something that these drivers are going to be definitely looking forward to, and something that's definitely going to also be crucial for other drivers that are going to be in need of great runs. So be sure to keep an eye on not just the Clan 11 Discord, but also the NRLOA Discord once that time comes around. But our first super speedway race of the season since Daytona, that sees Mitchell O'Brien sit on the pole, Skylar Taylor lining up alongside. We've got Stephen Colon, Zachary Fitzwater, one of the drivers who unfortunately didn't have a good race at Texas just a few weeks ago, but starting fourth here in today's event, probably could turn that around here. Probably one of the very best to do it in offline racing in NR 2003. Zachary Fitzwater, very, very well known, a very respected name in the community. Getting ready to duke it out for 94 laps here at the Talladega Superspeedway. They make their way off of turn number 4, and just remember, start-finish line is not at the center of the tri-oval. It's just at the exit heading towards turn number 1. Pace car is going to veer down onto pit road, and as these drivers make their way through the tri-oval, this field is being put into the hands of Mitchell O'Brien and Skylar Taylor to lead them down to the green flag, not just on Star Wars Day, but also our 1-year affiliate anniversary here on this Twitch channel. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in Talladega. Looks like Savatali got shoved way out of line, and he's going to lose a lot of positions as we head down the back straightaway. Working up to full song, Zachary Fitzwater now starting to fade back. So is Edson Hernandez. They are starting to get 3 and 4 wide as they work their way through the off of turn 4, heading into the tri-oval for the first time at full speed. 3 abreast for second, as Michael Young has Alex Rampus and Will Parrish right behind him. Mitchell O'Brien will lead the first lap of action. 4 wide now, with Stephen Colon being shoved up to that 4th line right up against the wall. They're 4 wide once again as they hit the back straightaway. But so far, O'Brien holding onto the race lead. Michael Young has got some different things on his agenda, though. trying to get to the inside of the 3. Unfortunately, not able to make the move stick, but you see Bob Floyd start to check out way back there, being completely hung out to dry. Meanwhile, up front, 3 wide for the race lead. Maybe not. As Parrish goes to the inside, maybe not quite there. I believe Parrish had to get out of the gas, but that's going to open the door for Casey Wells to drive underneath of the 2 as they head back into turn number 1 in full song. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. As you see here, with all these drivers starting to get a little bit spread out, it's because some drivers are having to get out of the gas when they're trying to make some moves, and it's going to end up costing them. It's going to end up costing them big time when it comes down to trying to get as much track position as possible before the first round of green flag stops. When will that be? Possibly somewhere around maybe lap 50. Want to keep an eye out for that. Somewhere right around the halfway point. They work their way off of turn number 4, a little bit spread out, but they're 3 wide over here as they have shuffled Mitchell O'Brien out of the race lead. Coming around to complete this lap, it's going to be Michael Young leading from what's now going to be the 4th line. Maybe not, the 3rd line still, as Daniel Adams makes his move to the inside. 4 cars lined up on the inside with Adams, Jeremiah Simpson, another driver who needs a really good run here if he wants to start moving his way up through the point standings. So far, he's getting it. 3 laps into this race, coming around to complete lap number 4 this time by Daniel Adams, playing the role of Pied Piper early in this race. He blocked the middle line, now he's blocking the bottom, now back up to the middle of the racetrack, well, towards the 3rd line. Now straight back down to the bottom to cover Ryan Durrani. 4 laps complete here in the Geico 500, here at the Talladega Super Speedway. A lot of these drivers are really starting to get a little bit spread out. So hit the back straightaway and about 205 miles an hour. Oh boy, they're starting to get a little bit dicey over here with DeFeo and Matt Jones. Almost squeezing up into Will Parrish there. As Parrish starts to check out, he starts to fade to the back as you see Ryan Durrani go to the race lead. And look who we just talked about a few minutes ago before these drivers fired engines and rolled off. Remember, John Andrews started 25th in this race, and I said it wasn't going to be any fluke whatsoever to see him move up to the front of the field. It took him 5 laps, and now he's leading here at Talladega. And that bonus point is just oh so crucial. And it will count to the championship at Homestead Miami in November once we get to that point. But we still have some ways to go here in this season. And still quite some ways to go here in this race. A long way to go. 94 laps. Compared to 188 laps, I mean, 94 laps, it still takes a little bit to complete. Still takes a little bit of time. But still, nonetheless, I'm sure these drivers are going to be able to get through this without a problem whatsoever. Andrews continues to lead with Mitchell O'Brien now moving up into the 2nd position. And here comes our Daytona 500 winner, BB Hange, who also won here when this was themed as Talladega Super Speedway in the Pumpkin 250. He'll be returning in this year's Pumpkin 250 as the defending winner of that event, of this upcoming event. He'll be the defending winner of that race. So as far as BB Hange's case, he could very well nab another win here at Talladega and get win number 2 on the season, and possibly get oh so closer at taking the points lead back. Maybe if he were to win, he might be able to take the points lead back. Oh no, crash on the tri-oval. 3 cars spin down on the inside. That is Roberto Crown Jr., Daniel Adams, careful coming back up on the racetrack, and there they go again. Sebastian Palmer, Sammy Cars, Nathan Stapleton, Parrish, Michael DeFeo around. Rampus involved. Murray gets even more damage as he rear ends. Oh my goodness gracious. This ain't the X Games, but Alex Rampus just absolutely got set flying by the 42 of Nathan Stapleton. First caution of the day is out here on lap number 8. here at Talladega. Race back to the line. It's going to be John Andrews, no contest, that will be leading them back to the caution flag. I may as well take my statement of we might go caution free in this race and just throw it right down the drain, because this just happened. Of course, Alex Rampus, lots of damages. Number 32, Nathan Stapleton, just has had an abysmal start to the season and just unfortunately hasn't really gotten any better. I really do feel for Nathan Stapleton. Definitely not, unfortunately, not going to be able to see the finish of this one, as he's going to be out early here in this race. Sebastian Palmer had himself a really good starting spot here in this event. Unfortunately, he's going to be out of it. Will Parrish, I believe he might be able to continue. Avon Murray, I think, is going to be out of the race. If he's not going to be out, well, actually, no, Parrish is going to be retiring from the event, so Parrish is out. Michael DeFeo, I believe he might be able to continue, but he'll definitely be out of contention. And if so, if the same case is for the 30 of Avon Murray, he is going to be out of contention as well. But we do have some takers coming down pit road this time. A little bit of some split strategy. John Andrews, Wyatt Walker, Mitchell O'Brien, and others do stay out, while Skylar Taylor, Chad Gronkowski, Matthew Hubert, Cologne Hange, Jeremiah Simpson, Matt Jones, and others, they are all coming down pit road, possibly to... Oh, Bryce Egan has actually got some damage on his number 5 machine. Lots of damage. So does Bob Floyd. And also PJ Vidal. Could have either been because of a stack up. Oh, also our Texas winner and Travis Crampton. They both have some nose damage to their race machines. Possibly could have been a stack up on the back straightaway. But it also could have been from that first caution incident. So there are going to be some other drivers that are going to be massively affected by this. But of course, John Andrews currently our race leader. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened that caused our first yellow flag of the day here at the Talladega Super Speedway. The first incident, basically, it just saw 3 cars go around. It was the 51. I would say it was the 51 of Roberto Crown Jr. We're going to be focusing in on right around here, this general area. But you see Ryan Durrani, I do believe he thought that he was clear. And he comes down into the 55 of Adams, who then gets in front of into Josh Lee, and then right into the 51. So that sent the 51 around, and also the 55, and as well as the 34 down, way down in the apron. Now to really figure out what happened further up in the pack. Something must have happened. It probably was to just take evasive action of the 34 and the 55, trying to merge back up onto the racetrack. And indeed, it was. Actually, no, it wasn't. I think Josh Lee was just carrying way too much speed to try to get back up onto the track. He was able to do so, but to what? But at what cost? He ends up taking out Will Parrish, Tyler Belladonna gets some damage, Michael DeFeo, and Alex Rampus gets collected. So does Daniel Adams there, bottom of your screen, just faded out. There's PJ Vidal going for a spin. That was because of another incident with Sebastian Palmer that happened right behind them. Then Sammy Cars, of course, with damage. But just look at this right over here. Of course, Adams and Rampus, they both slide down, back down into the apron. And of course, Avon Murray, he could have moved up a little bit more, but unfortunately, he was very well committed to the bottom, and unfortunately, he got into the 32. And then you see Stapleton just... Now, that's just nowhere to go right there, but X game style flips here for the 32 of Alex Rampus. And unfortunately, he's not going to see the checkered flag here at Talladega Super Speedway to kick off the month of May. And same can go for Nathan Stapleton. And this is not how he wanted to kick off his month of May either, whatsoever. But so that is 2 out of quite a few major contenders that have been eliminated from this event. Oh, wait, hold on one second. So now we are, of course, back to live action. See, Gronkowski looks like he came out of the pit, possibly might have come out of the pits first. Actually, no, it was Skylar Taylor who came out of the pits first with BB Hange. Looks like Gronkowski might have come out third. Then the 23. Then the 78. Looks like they're kind of waiting a second before they merge back up onto the racetrack. But they might also stack up back over here with the one. Oh boy, Sustry. That was close. Terry. Oh my goodness, Terry Walker. Some close calls here. Some very, very close calls here in this one. Right here at the Talladega Super Speedway for race number 8 on the circuit, the Geico 500. Returning after a 2 to 3 week break for the McDonald's Cup Series, but now we're getting back at it. And I want to say this is honestly the furthest that we've ever gone in any McDonald's Cup Series season ever. Usually we'd go probably about 4, maybe 5 races in, and then all of a sudden I feel burnt out and I wouldn't even continue on with the series. I just completely shut it down. But probably ever since switching over to doing these races live, it has been a pretty good stress reliever, to say the least. And definitely don't have to worry too much about making things look top-notch good, making things look graphically appealing when it comes down to the graphics, such as what I've got right here on your screen, the Leonard Network logo, and also the social medias, the socials scrolling on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Of course, the podcasts too. So right now, things are looking pretty spick and span when it comes down to the McDonald's Cup Series coverage, and so far we're glad that you guys are enjoying it. But we're getting ready. Well, possibly might take one to go here this next time around. There is something I do need to see real quick. Just give me one moment. Oh, that's where the ping's coming from. Okay. My apologies. Just wanted to clear that ping up. It was going to get really annoying. I ain't gonna lie. But we do have quite a few retirees here in this race, and I believe this is the most retirees that we've had in a while. Of course, Bryce Egan, unfortunately, he's not going to see the checkered flag. Nor will Sammy Cars, PJ Vidal, Daniel Adams, Will Parrish, Michael DeFeo, Nathan Stapleton, Alex Rampus, Ava Murray, and Sebastian Palmer. All of those cars have gone to the garage area, so now we have 32 cars left on the racetrack. All of them are currently on the lead lap. But we might have some stragglers in the back of the field with the smallest amount of damage. Even the smallest amount of damage, like with this buckle that Travis Crampton has on the hood of his number 22, could potentially and most definitely affect the aerodynamics of this number 22, because even the slightest amount of damage is going to take you out of contention. Bob Floyd obviously is not going to see the win here in this race with the hood of his number 10 pretty much smashed up and missing. Nor will the 21 of Tatiana Nogueira, but good thing for Nogueira is they already have a win at Texas that just came 2-3 weeks ago. So for Tatiana Nogueira, things are looking pretty spick and span, but of course, definitely not what you want to do if you're just trying to move up into the trying to move further up in the point standings. Which, as I mentioned, it is going to get a lot harder, and it has gotten a lot more difficult to move up through the point standings as the season progresses. But we are, as we're focusing back in, we are a half a lap away from going back under the green flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Of course, John Andrews currently your race leader. Running in second is the number 99 of Wyatt Walker, who started caboose in this race. Shotgun on the field, 42nd position. And just under 15 laps, he has moved his way up, and really under 10 laps. Under 10 green flag laps, he managed to move his way inside of the top 5. With pole sitter Mitchell O'Brien third. Then sitting in fourth is Michael Young. Fifth is John Felber. Sixth is the 98 of Colin Block. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Then Damian Kyle Woods sitting in seventh. Nia Steidel eighth. Ninth is the 14 of Ryan Durrani, and Casey Wells completes the top 10 as we get ready to go back under the green flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Single file for all 32 of these drivers. Remember, no drivers are currently a lap down, but that may change as this race goes on. And we'll see how much longer we can go before we get another yellow. Here we go. Green is back in the air. So far, pretty calm start. With John Andrews starting to break out with the lead. Wyatt Walker in second. Top 3 currently single file. Then we get back over here to John Felber and Michael Young. Both of those drivers are currently going at it for position. O'Brien looking to try to break up the Roush cars of the 17 and the 99. So far, he has done that. John Felber starting to join the party in the third Roush machine. And also trying to put blocks on this number 38 of DK Wood. But so far, that has not really paid any good dividends whatsoever. 3 wide now for second as John Andrews leads this lap. And O'Brien ended up getting himself a good monster run. On that third line, he managed to slice from the top all the way back down to the bottom. He moved back into second. He dives low to try to go for the race lead on the 17 of John Andrews. Probably dead even, and once they hit the back straightaway, Colin Block going to make it 3 wide. What's going to be for the third spot with Nia Steidel in the middle. And DK Wood up top. Mitchell O'Brien, in the meantime, goes back to the race lead. Heading back down through the tri-oval this time around. 14 laps complete, 80 to go. Here in the Geico 500, heading back into turn number 1 with Mitchell O'Brien, still the race leader, and our Martinsville winner sitting in the second position. That's Alex Savatali trying to go for win number 2 on the season. But we got Nia Steidel down there on the inside. I thought she was going to have a run to get underneath of the 26, but so far she's been shoved up to the what's going to be the second line, maybe the third line. But Steidel now sitting up on that second car on the outside. Now third as Savatali goes to the race lead. 3 wide for second again. As they come down. With Savatali now leading this race. Gronkowski sitting in third. 4 wide for the 4th position. As now the 3 was really extremely hung out to dry. And O'Brien is going to lose a good amount of positions. Once they hit turn number 3, he went from third. Looks like he's going to be outside of the top 10 this time around. As the 26 of Alex Savatali continuing to lead the charge with Ryan Durrani now moving up into the second position. Then double file for third as now Cologne is going to try to make it 3 wide underneath of Casey Wells and also the 9 of Fitzy, but Fitzwater with a good run. He'll slice from the top, maybe try to go to the bottom. So far, he's committed to that second line, but that may hurt him once they hit the back straightaway. Not the case, actually, as they're a little bit more strung out than what they usually would be. Just a tad, but that's what happens. Double file as they hit the back straightaway into turn number 3. A challenge for the race lead. Here comes Ryan Durrani underneath of Alex Savatali. And he's going to clear the number 26. They are 3 wide now for second as Fitzy is down on the inside. I thought Durrani was going to try to open that door back up for Fitzwater to drive underneath, but Fitzy did not have a good enough push from the 7 to pull up alongside the 14. But you can see now this pack is starting to get a little bit more strung out. Just a tad bit more strung out, but I don't expect that to last very long. They might get grouped back up here very, very soon, but in the meantime, of course, Durrani holding onto the lead. Fitzwater second. Casey Wells now third. Matt Jones challenging for the 4th position. Underneath, looks like DK Wood is going to try to join the bottom side because he knows that's where the momentum is going to be. But the top has also been just as strong as now we head back down into turn number 1. Casey Wells goes to the bottom. I think Fitzy tried to go up to that second line because he probably was told there's some momentum up there. So he went up top, and that opened the door for Casey Wells to stay committed to the bottom and try to follow her Chevy teammate Ryan Durrani. Colin Block now moving up inside of the top 5. Currently sitting 5th on the scoring pylon. And now he's going to try to go for the lead, but Michael Young has got some different plans. 3 abreast as they head back through the tri-oval. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make the run stick. Colin Block now takes the race lead away from the 14 of Ryan Durrani. Just think if that was the finish right there. Colin Block would have won it just by a matter of a piece of paper. Steidel now going to the inside of the 18 of Michael Young. That is going to be for the 2nd position. She's going to bring Wyatt Walker, Savatali, Jeremiah Simpson. A good load of other cars are lined up behind this number 41, but looks like Savatali wants to get pretty racy. He's currently going to be going 3 wide. What's going to be for 3rd. Meanwhile, up front, here comes Nia Steidel trying to challenge for the lead, but doesn't have the run behind her, doesn't have a good push behind her. She's just a little bit too far out from the 26 of Alex Savatali. 20 and a half laps complete, coming around to complete lap 21 this time by. Here comes Steidel down low. She's going to bring the 26 of Alex Savatali with her as she goes to the lead here at Talladega Superspeedway. Steidel, of course, no stranger to Talladega. Of course, she raced here in the what was then the WRLA Pepsi Cup Series for EGI, but now currently a McDonald's Cup Series driver. Unfortunately, wasn't able to lead the lap. Savatali just drove right underneath of the 41 and just stole that lap away. But so far, things are looking pretty stout here for these other cars that are in this lead pack. I mean, of course, yeah, they are pretty split up, but so far, so good. Looking pretty clean and green right now. Here's a look at the next 4 cars that are out of the draft, basically out of the lead pack's draft. Of course, we got Roberto Crown Jr., Kyler Sustry back here with the 34 of Josh Lee and the 47 of Derek Hamill. Got some more cars back over here. It's like I said, even just the tiniest bit of damage on your race car is going to affect the aerodynamics dramatically, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with the 48, the 4, the 22, and the 1. These 4 are way, way back here. Then we get back to the no hood people of Tatiana Nogueira and also Bob Floyd. Both of those drivers, of course, obviously are not going to see the checkered flag fall with them winning the race, but they're working their way towards turn number 1 as these drivers are working their way towards the tri-oval. Thank you, Yuki. I appreciate it. I'll text you soon. I will text you soon, I promise. But focusing back in, 23 laps complete. So far, everybody has now gone single file within the top 10. With hanging Dale Johnson out to dry, but as soon as they hit the back straightaway, they forget about single file. They just want to get up to the front of the field like there's absolutely no tomorrow, trying to win it on lap 1, which you can't really do. But of course, BB Hange in the 95. He's going to drive low to try to take the race lead. He's going to do just that. Heading back through the tri-oval this time around, and we've seen before in certain shots here and throughout this race that when the drivers use the bottom, when the drivers are right down against the double yellow line through the tri-oval, it is banked a little bit differently compared to the rest of the tri-oval above. It is a pretty dangerous spot on the track, so of course for some of those drivers, they're going to have to be careful as far as, you know, how their setups are in that regard. But we are coming up on some slower traffic of the 10 and the 21. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how they get through this lap traffic. Oh, man. Bob Floyd almost got turned by the 14, and now here we go. We're starting to stack them up. On the exit of the tri-oval, heading back into turn number 1, and in the process of all that, Wyatt Walker just drove around everybody to try to take the race lead away. He literally drove around everybody to do just that, and look at this back over here. Look at this mess. The second and third lines are being absolutely held up by the 21 and the 10. Oh, look out. And they're going to get by Tatiana Nogueira just fine. The only driver that is currently having some severe issues trying to get by the slower traffic is indeed the 26 of Savatali. He now finally makes a move down low. One of two have currently been passed, but these drivers have gotten absolutely spread out because of this. Even more spread out than what they normally would if they were to let off the throttle. But heading their way through turns 3 and 4 this time around. Of course, now Wyatt Walker, he did lead 2 laps, but now he's going to slip back to 3rd. And might... yeah, he's going to slip back to 4th. He might lose 4th here to Hernandez across the stripe. Actually, he's going to hold on to it just barely. But as of right now, everybody has gotten past the slower traffic clean and green. So right now, so far so good. Unfortunately, the driver that got hurt the worst through all of that was indeed Alex Savatali. He got absolutely held up by the 10 and the 21. And that's very unfortunate. And so he's definitely going to have to either hope another caution comes out, so that way he can get back up there and race with the leaders, or either that, he might have to also depend on green flag pit stops to try to reel himself back into the mix. But he is way gone. He is out of the draft. Currently sitting 22nd. He is about 3 seconds behind 21st place Zachary Fitzwater. Currently we have 21 cars that are still running in this lead pack, minus the 26 of Savatali, which would have been 22. But O'Brien goes back to the lead. With BB Haynes now coming back into the second position. Steidl there in third. Matt Jones trying to work around the outside of the 41 so far. That line has proven to prevail. As Jones moves into third. Top two are currently single file. We got a whole line of Chevrolets and a lone Ford sitting in the second position. Stephen Colon holding on, sitting inside of the top 10, currently being shown 8th. But now being put down to the on the second line, put on the second line by the 99 of Wyatt Walker. Meanwhile, up front, challenge for the lead as BB Haynes goes to the point. But it looks like Matt Jones, maybe Nia Steidl as well. They're 3 wide for second. I thought that was going to be 3 wide for the race lead, but looks like Mitchell O'Brien just drove by everybody, and now he slices from top to bottom again. How many times are we going to see Mitchell O'Brien do that? He is sliced from the top to the bottom at what seems like maybe 3 times already in this race. 30 laps complete. We have 64 laps to go. We're coming around to complete lap 31, which will put us at 63 to go. And right now, they're racing like it's absolutely no tomorrow, dude. Like it's no one's business. Wyatt Walker almost got turned by the 14 of Durrani through the tri-oval. That would not have been good whatsoever. But they keep it clean, they keep it green, and we're still going. Mitchell O'Brien, of course, goes back to the lead. Double file for second. As they hit the back straightaway, full song, about 205 miles an hour. With BB Haynes sitting in the second position. Casey Wells, Durrani, Val Moscow trapped up on the outside. So far, there's currently 3 cars lined up on the outside. So far, that run has not been able to work whatsoever. But now they've got Steidl and Mitchell O'Brien. And Durrani, man, they're going everywhere. Literally going everywhere. They might as well go to McDonald's at this point, if with the weight that, that they're getting spread out. 3 wide now for a third as Steidl drives around the 95 of BB Haynes and trying to drive around the 99 of Wyatt Walker. She's going to edge ahead, heading down the back straightaway. And get as far as the left rear quarter panel of the number 41. That's as far out ahead as the 41 just got. That bottom just so strong through the corners. It is the shortest way around. And it's definitely the most preferred way to go here at super speedways like here at Talladega or even Daytona. Or even in some cases if you want to count in real life in Atlanta. But O'Brien's still holding on to the race lead. Remember, he started on pole here in this event, and he is not really straight away from the top 5 or top 10 all race long. This is where he's been all day, right around this point. But Wyatt Walker, he started caboose in this race, 42nd, and it took him under 10 laps to get to where he is right now, inside of the top 5. And he's going to try to go for this race lead, but he's got Stephen Colon, who's already driven underneath of him, but not quite the case. Walker ended up getting a great run to try to retain his second position, and now he's going to try to keep his nose pinned on the 3 of Mitchell O'Brien as they head through 1 and 2, but they've got more traffic to worry about once they hit the back straightaway. And good chance they might catch them. Maybe once they hit the tri-oval, maybe into turn number 1. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we might catch him a little bit earlier. Walker is going to go to the race lead. Casey Wells will follow. Michael Young now starting to move up back into the top 5, carrying Chad Gronkowski, as well as Skylar Taylor. Hernandez drives high. As they complete lap number 34 or 35 now, 59 laps to go. Yeah, we're definitely gonna catch him once we hit the back straight away. So a little bit later than what I said we would, but they've worked their way to single file. Let's see how they navigate around this traffic. Terry ducked out of line for a moment, but he's gonna get back in line behind the 22. Here comes Wyatt. He's gonna go high as everybody else gets held up by Rogel Dorn. Terry drives low. Oh man, Wyatt. Oh, he tried. Wyatt tried, but he had to let out of the gas. He's gonna get by Terry. Now I'm gonna try to get by the 22 and the 4 on the outside. He has absolutely no help. Here comes Casey Wells up high. Michael Young will join the both of them, or will he? He won't. He's gonna go behind the 48. Here comes the 15, the 95, the 3, and the 98. Everybody's starting to stack up behind these 4 drivers that are pretty well off the pace. And now this pack currently being led by Tyler Belladonna now. Remember, he is on the tail end of the lead lap. He's not actually racing with the leaders. Neither are Terry or Travis Crampton nor Rogel Dorn. They are just there. But Colin Block now going to go to the race lead. I mean, you got to give props to what Wyatt was trying to do, but unfortunately, it just was not very well executed when everybody was stacking up. And it just made it far, far more difficult to try to get up to the race, try to get around the lap traffic, the clear traffic. Stream it at 7 p.m. your time. Absolutely, Mocha Bean. Hope you have yourself a good night thus far. And here we go, actually. Hold on a minute. Pit stops. Get ready to take place. Oh man, Dale Johnson just setting into the pits. That's definitely not what he wanted whatsoever. We've also got Damian Kyle Wood in the pits, along with Ryan Durrani. Edson Hernandez is in, along with Derek Hamill, Colin Block. So green flag pit stops are currently taking place just what looks to be 9 laps away from the halfway point here in the Geico 500, here at the Talladega Super Speedway. If you're just now tuning in, we've only had one caution that was right around lap number 8 that saw 10 retirees in this race. We currently have 32 cars left on the racetrack, and at this moment, 25 of them are currently on the lead lap. We've got more drivers coming in. Nia Steidel makes her way down to pit road. So will the 17 of John Andrews. There's Val Moscow, Wyatt Walker, John Phelps. What in the world? That was interesting. John Felber apparently just slid into the pits, very illegally, mind you. But he made it into his pit stall, but at what cost? He's gonna get, it's just gonna cost him a little bit more as this race goes on. But Colin Block makes his way back out onto the racetrack. Matthew Huber, Matt Jones, Zachary Fitzwater, they have yet to surrender the race lead. They've yet to surrender the top 5, at least for the moment. Looks like Michael Young, Casey Wells, Fitzy. Oh no! That was not good. Mitchell O'Brien just absolutely just sent it into the pits like a rocket ship and just rammed into the 9 of Fitzy. That is definitely not what either of those drivers wanted. So this is going to cost Fitzy more time in the pits, and that's going to take him and as well as the 3 of Mitchell O'Brien out of contention to win here at the Talladega Super Speedway. We might have some more drivers coming into pit this time, maybe next time around. I have yet to see Matthew Huber, Colin Block, Matt Jones, Stephen Colon. I've yet to see those cars come on down into the pits, unless if it's because of the split pit strategy that some of those drivers ended up taking. So they might end up pitting later, possibly. We'll just have to wait and see. But of course, the challenge for the lead is on. As Stephen Colon looks like he's going to go to the point in car number 24. Remember, he's got all this other traffic in front of him. These guys just came out of the pits, the 98, the 88, and the 27. Those cars did come out just a couple of laps ago. Thank you so much, Mocha Bean. Really do appreciate it. Heading down the back straightaway once more. With 42 laps complete, they'll be 5 laps away from the halfway mark here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And now here we go. Actually, no, not quite yet. I thought they were going to make their way down into the pits, but that hasn't been the case yet. Hubert's going to go back to the race lead. But currently your top 10, as it stands, it is the number 23 of Matthew Hubert leading the charge with Matt Jones second, Chad Gronkowski third, then Stephen Colon sitting in fourth with Skylar Taylor fifth, then sixth is the 20 of Jeremiah Simpson, BB Haynes sits seventh, Roberto Crown Jr. eighth, then Kyler Sustry ninth, and the 34 of Josh Lee completes your top 10. As we come around to complete lap 44, there'll be... Oh no! Cologne into the wall! He just got absolutely sent into the wall. We just saw that live. How that didn't cause a caution or take out anybody else, I'll never know. BB Haynes down way down in the apron. I think he was just trying to take evasive action. But he's going to lose some time on the racetrack. We stay green, but that is very unfortunate for Stephen Colon. He was running really well inside of the top 5. He was going to pit eventually. I'm pretty sure he was one of those other drivers that pitted on lap 9. But he is unfortunately going to be out of it here at Talladega. That is very gut-wrenching, very heartbreaking to see for Stephen Colon. That was unreal. Just unbelievable of what we just saw. Wow, I have no words. No words whatsoever. But there's the number 24. There's the lead pack. Looks like Matt Jones, he's going to pit this time. Jeremiah Simpson in the background, he's going to follow. Felber finally is going to get service done to his race machine. And he'll be out, but he'll be a good handful of laps down. Looks like 6 laps down, maybe 7. Mitchell O'Brien has retired from the race, so he's not going to see the checkered flag fall. And neither will the 24th Stephen Colon. He is out of it. There's the 10 of Bob Floyd. He's getting pit service done to his race machine. But now we're getting ready to see more cars come on down to pit road. It looks like these drivers are the drivers that pitted on lap number 9. There's Matthew Hubert. He's going to surrender second place to come to the pit road. See if there's any other takers. I don't believe there's going to be any more takers, at least for this lap. But maybe the next time around, we're probably going to see some more cars come on down to pit road. Currently, we have 8 cars left on the lead lap. Make that 7 as Simpson makes his way back out onto the racetrack. But I do believe we are going to see the 36 make his way down into the pits, and there it is. So Chad Gronkowski is going to surrender the lead. He'll come into pit road, And I'm possibly thinking that this is going to give the top spot to the 95 of BB Hange. And indeed it will. BB Hange goes to the race lead. Just past the halfway mark here in the Geico 500 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Just in case if you guys are joining us here, we've so far only had one caution flag, had a couple close calls. The most recent incident was Stephen Colon. He ended up getting turned into the outside wall, possibly by teammate Val Mosco. We won't know until we go back and take a look at a replay, but I want to wait until pit stops are 100% done. It looks like BB Hange is actually going to make his way down into the pits this time around. So that's going to give the lead now to Roberto Crown Jr. At least for the moment. Looks like he's also going to make his way down into the pits as well. So then I think the lead's going to just go back to Chad Gronkowski then. I think that's just what's going to happen. But still, nonetheless, I lost my train of thought. But I want to wait. I want to wait to go back and look at a replay here in just a little bit, because I want to see if green flag pit stops are going to be complete. I think they might be after Roberto Crown Jr. makes his way back out onto the track. But in the meantime, looks like the top spot is going to go back to the 36 of Chad Gronkowski, who's fighting it out with the 98 and the 78. Currently 3 wide with Johnson, who is the first. Actually, no, he's actually, how many laps down is he? Is he on the tail end of the lead lap? No, he's currently sitting 5th, so he is racing for the race lead. He is racing for that top spot. So while these drivers are racing hard for the top spot, let's go back and look at what happened to Stephen Colon that knocked him out. Let's go back and look. And indeed, that was the case. Ended up getting turned by his own teammate, Val Mosco, which ultimately was the thing that took him out of contention here for this race. Here at the Talladega Super Speedway, you see BB Hange way down there on the inside trying to take evasive action. He didn't gain any sort of positions whatsoever. If he did, it was down below the yellow line with Stephen Colon, who was also down below the yellow line. So I wouldn't think there was any sort of penalties whatsoever on the 95 of BB Hange. But in the meantime, back to live action. Of course, now the 27 of Dale Johnson goes to the point. They're going to get by the number 16 of John Felber. 50 laps complete, 44 to go. Here at the Talladega Super Speedway, the Geico 500. Pretty surprising of how we've only had one caution throughout this entire event. And we came close with the 24 Stephen Colon. We could have had a second yellow that would have re-racked and stacked and had everybody try again, but surprisingly, that hasn't quite been the case. As they head down to complete lap number 51. So now your top 10 after our green flag pit stops have been completed. Here's how they go. Dale Johnson, the second, the leader. Running in second is the number 78 of Matt Jones. Third, Colin Block. Fourth, Chad Gronkowski. Then fifth, Nia Steidel completing the top 5. Then Jeremiah Simpson, Skylar Taylor, Val Mosco, John Andrews, our points leader, and Michael Young completing the top 10. That is currently how they're being scored this time around, but it looks like that's going to change with Colin Block trying to get a position on Jones, but also fending off the 36 of Gronkowski, who will tuck right back into 4th. Oh boy. Oh, that got really close right there. But this is going to open up the door for Matt Jones and Gronkowski to go around the outside. Or will they? Currently sitting 3 wide. Trying to get by the 10. And it looks like Jones is going to just get held up. But not enough to lose the draft of the lead 3 cars. And I think this is also going to pull these 3 really into contention. Maybe 2, as got a little side draft action happening between the 10 and the 20. So it looks like this will pull Skylar Taylor, Nia Steidel, and even the 20 of Jeremiah Simpson into the mix. Indeed it has. Hitting the back straightaway once again. Fitzy going to try to get by the 21 of Noguera. And let's see what this looks like. Oh, man. Almost coming down under the nose of the 27 did Noguera. Simpson trying to get by the 41 of Steidel, but the hole just closed up really, really quickly. But so far, things are looking pretty stout as far as trying to get by the slower traffic. And I do say that with a tiny, tiny bit of sarcasm. But everybody holding their own and doing a nice job, at least for the time being, of trying to get by the slower traffic. We currently stay green. So Johnson holds on to the race lead. Gronkowski now second. Here comes Skylar Taylor with some help from Colin Block. They're going to split Zachary Fitzwater 3 wide. Oh boy. Everybody going down to the inside line. Looks like Colin Block going to try for the lead on the 15 of Skylar Taylor. And caution is out again. Caution is out for the second time, and it's for Val Moscow. Moscow has got some pretty severe damage on his number 88. He's not going to see the checkered flag fall. And I believe it might have had something to do with Bob Floyd, because we had a wreck over in turn number 1. Oh my goodness. So now everybody has been re-racked. They're going to get restacked, and at some point they're going to go again. Once we go back green, I would want to say they're probably going to go back green on lap number 60. That's going to be my guesstimate, but we won't know until we get to that point. But at the moment, Skylar Taylor was the one that led everybody back to the caution flag. And oh my goodness, another retiree has been added, but we're going to be down to 30 cars left on the racetrack. And 20 of them are going to be left on the lead lap when we go back green. So second caution of the day here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Skylar Taylor is going to be leading everybody down pit road. And this time it's going to be everybody coming down pit road, with the exception of those drivers that are 1 lap down or more. They will be pitting next time around, if they so choose to take that opportunity, that is. Yeah, it looks like Bob Floyd, he's been on his roof in that number 10. I did see a little bit of damage on the roof of that GoDaddy machine. So he is definitely going to be out of this one for sure. He is not moved from that pit box, not even an inch. So it looks like some drivers are going to take tires. Some, I think it's going to be, left side tires for some of these drivers. Nice. Steidel, BB Hange, one of those that took 2 tires, and it was on the left side. Very interesting of how some drivers took splash and go. Sal Vitale looks like that's going to be the case for him. That's going to be a splash and go for him, but actually no, fill up on the tank, just to ensure, I believe, that he would be good to go the rest of the way on that tank of gas. But looks like Colin Block did indeed win the race off of pit road. So coming out second will be the 20 of Simpson. Then third will be Skylar Taylor. Fourth will be, looks like it might have been Matt Jones. I'm not sure though. It might have been Matt Jones, but I'm not sure. So it looks like, actually, no, it might be Jones third, then Taylor, then Gronkowski, then Johnson, then Andrews, then Durrani, then BB Haynes, and I believe Nice Steidel would be completing the top 10, unless if I went a little bit too far back. But let's go back and take a look at what happened to Val Moscow that has ultimately knocked him out of the race here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Oh, that's what happened. That is what happened. So we're going to be following along here with Val Moscow. He's currently tucked in behind the 17 of John Andrews. They come up on Bob Floyd, and it looks like Floyd thought he was clear. So he tries to cut down in front of the 17, and unfortunately Andrews was just right there. And it's going to send the 10 around, and then Val Moscow with just absolutely nowhere to go. Man, absolutely packs the rear end of the 10 of Bob Floyd. But you see Andrews, he's going to drive away from the scene. Derek Hamill doesn't even get involved. He continues to drive through it. Nice heads up driving for the 47. But as far as everybody else, looks like this was just a 2-car incident between the 10 and the 88. Could have been 3 if you would have counted the 47 of Derek Hamill. Let's go ahead and take a look at this at full speed. That hole just closed up for the 10, for at least John Andrews, if he was trying to get around the 10 in a hurry. But Bob, at the same time, the 10 was multiple laps down. So if anything, he should have stayed high and let the 17 and the 88 go. But unfortunately, that just was not the case. And looks like it's definitely, of course, going to be game over for the number 88 of Val Moscow. Our Las Vegas winner will not see win number 2 here today at the Talladega Super Speedway. Going to have to pack up and get ready for Darlington next Friday night. So that is what happened. That brought out our second yellow flag of the evening. Back to live action with, of course, the additional retiree. Well, 2 additional retirees now with Bob Floyd going behind the wall. So now we're going to have 20. Looks like it's going to be 28 cars left on the track with 25 of them left on the lead lap. As you see Fitzy leading the group of lap cars down onto pit road. And I was indeed correct. Your top 10 is going to look like this once we get ready to go back under the green flag. It is going to be Colin Block, the race leader. Jeremiah Simpson, second. Then third, the 15 of Skylar Taylor. Fourth will be the 78 of Matt Jones. Then fifth will be the 36 of Chad Gronkowski. Then 7th of 27 of Dale Johnson the second. John Andrews 8th. Then 9th will be, well, John Andrews 7th, excuse me. Johnson will be 6th. Andrews 7th. 8th will be Ryan Durrani. 9th, BB Haynes and Nia Steidel will complete the top 10 here in the Geico 500. Currently working our second caution flag, just in case if you are tuning in. We've now, like I said, working our second yellow. Our first one involved multiple cars, which took out a good plethora of drivers from, looks like looks like it was Bryce Egan all the way down to Sebastian Palmer. Those drivers have gone to the garage area, and currently joining them, of course, are Mitchell O'Brien, Stephen Colon. They retired earlier in the race, but the next 2, of course, you see right there, the 88 of Val Moscow due to a header problem, and also the 10 of Bob Floyd. Both of those drivers ended up wrecking over in turn number 1. Just all an incident of just trying to get by the slower car of the 10 of Bob Floyd. And unfortunately, that hole closed up for John Andrews because Floyd, I think, was just trying to get down in front of the 17 and also the 88, and it just didn't quite work out for either of them. But as far as John Andrews, he is still continuing on in the number 17. Remember, he comes into this race as our points leader, so another good points day will definitely be pretty good for, I'd say, definitely that's something that John Andrews would want for his points lead tenure right now. He is a veteran of the McDonald's Cup Series, one of a small amount of veterans of the McDonald's Cup Series. Of course, Andrews is one of them. Wyatt Walker is another. So is, I believe, the number 9. Yes, the number 9 of Zachary Fitzwater is a vet of the McDonald's Cup Series. So is Derek Hamill. So is Travis Crampton. Casey Wells, I believe, is another one. So we've got some OGs of the McDonald's Cup Series that are currently in here. We get ready for one to go. Here at the Talladega Superspeedway, you see all those other drivers lined up on the inside. That is, of course, those drivers that are one lap down or more. Remember, Fitzy and also John Felber, those two are 5, well, they are 6, both of those drivers are 6 laps down. And then Tatiana Nogueira is 3 laps down, and then everybody else all the way up to Travis Crampton, they are currently 1 lap down. So we currently have 20 cars left on the lead lap, and 5 of them, at least, actually no, 8 of them currently are 1 lap down or more. So we're getting ready to go back under the green flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway on lap number 60. Pretty much called it right there on the dot once we began this caution period. Getting ready to go back under the green flag on lap number 60. There'll be 35 laps to go when we cross the stripe to restart this race. Colin Block, to review your top 10. Colin Block is your race leader. Jeremiah Simpson, 2nd. Skylar Taylor, 3rd. Matt Jones, 4th. Chad Gronkowski completing the top 5. Then Dale Johnson, the 2nd, 6th. Then 7th is John Andrews. 8th is the 14 of Ryan Durrani. 9th is BB Hange. And completing your top 10, Nia Steidel in the number 41. So here they come through the trioval. This time around, there'll be 35 laps of racing to go here at the Talladega Super Speedway. We might have one more caution flag before this thing is all said and done, but who knows? We might go green the rest of the way. Let's find out. Here we go. Green is back in the air. Three abreast. With the lappers down on the bottom. Jeremiah Simpson in the middle, already trying to go for that top spot, trying to take him away. And it looks like he'll do just that for the moment. Matt Jones going to try to put the lap traffic in the middle. Fitzy's going to be put 3 wide in the middle. Oh, Skylar Taylor had to get out of the gas, so now he's starting to lose touch, at least for now. And everybody else is starting to get held up by the slower traffic of the 21 of Tatiana Nogueira. Remember, Nogueira has absolutely no hood on their race machine. Excuse me. But everybody looks like they are spread out, of course, but they are currently holding their own. As we're still green flag racing, now 34 laps to go, as everybody has now reached full song. Dale Johnson, the leader. Jeremiah Simpson now moves into the 2nd position. Our points leader, John Andrews, is currently sitting in the 5th spot. Now has gotten clear of everybody else, so now he'll tuck in behind the 15 of Skylar Taylor, who sits 4th right now. And then Matt Jones and Michael Young going at it for 6th. Looks like Chad Gronkowski was one of those other drivers that just... Actually, no, he moved up to 3rd, excuse me. I thought he had fallen way outside of the top 10, but he hasn't. He hasn't actually. He is still holding on. Still going strong. He tried to go to the inside of the 20, but didn't have the help behind him because Skylar Taylor is way back there. Remember, Taylor doesn't have any help either in that number 15 machine. Unless if he pulls up to the back bumper of the 36. Oh, crash through the tri-oval. Jones and also Casey Wells around. Caution out again. Oh, this wreck again. With Ryan Durrani going for a spin. Caution is back out. What in the world just happened? And just like that, we're back under caution. That was interesting. Looks like Casey Wells and also Matt Jones, both of those drivers went around through the tri-oval, but I'm not entirely sure what caused the 14 of Ryan Durrani to go around. But it looks like those two drivers are going to be able to continue. They're going to be out of contention for the win, though, because of the amount of damage that they have on their race cars. As far as Matt Jones' case, I'm not entirely sure. But let's see what the strategy looks like here once we come off of turn number 4. Looks like two cars, actually, will be making their way down into the pits. As far as lead lap cars are concerned, everybody else is going to be staying out. Then we have, of course, Durrani and also Casey Wells, Tatiana Noguera, a number of laps down. They are indeed coming into pit with the lead lap cars, probably to get some more damage assessed, possibly, maybe get some mechanical work done on this number 21 machine. Possibly. But Casey Wells, unfortunately, is going to be out of it. She just took her car back behind the wall. Ryan Durrani has joined her. So now we have more retirees in this race. So now we're going to have 26 cars left on the track. The field getting ever so smaller as we are now going within 30 laps to go. Made a mistake there. Whoops. As now we're going within 30 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Casey Wells, Matt Jones, and even Ryan Durrani. That sent both of those, that sent two of those cars back behind the wall. What in the world happened? Oh, this is what happened. This is what happened with the 7 and the 78. You see Colin Block there on the outside. And I believe, actually no, it looks like Casey Wells thought she was clear and tried to tuck him behind the 78. That just was not the case. So those two cars plus Colin Block go right up into the outside wall. And what happened to the 14 of Ryan Durrani as those two are wrecking? Let's see. I think what happens here is I don't think Durrani got on the brakes whatsoever. Even though he tried, he probably did it at the last second. Gets right into the back of the 98, and he just goes around Derek Hamill again. Great job avoiding this number 14. But he does get a point back the right direction and headed back towards the pit road and back to the garage area. Matt Jones, I believe, is also going to be out of the race as well. Here with closing in on 30 laps to go. So now back to live action here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And I do believe, I don't know if Matt Jones will be joining the other two cars of Durrani and also Casey Wells in the pit, in the garage area, but we'll see. He just might. He did go a lap down, but we'll see what happens. I do need to use the restroom, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to take this time under the caution flag to do just that. So I will be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Do apologize for that. Hear the dogs barking in the background. Do apologize for that too. My mom just came home. But in the meantime, though, we are going to be restarting. I think we might be restarting with 28 laps to go. We'll just have to wait and see once these drivers come around this time by. See if we're going to take one to go. We just might, but like I said, we're going to have to wait and see. So as they come back around this time by, let's see if they're going to take one to go, following along with the pace car. And indeed, not quite the case. So we might restart with 27 laps to go here at the Talladega Super Speedway for the running of this Geico 500. We are currently working our third yellow flag of the race. If you're just now tuning in, it involved Casey Wells, Ryan Durrani, and as well as the 78 of Matt Jones. Jones and Wells ended up wrecking, so unfortunately this is going to see all three of those cars go back behind the wall. So looks like we're going to have at least maybe 24, 25 more cars left on the racetrack. 17 of them will be left on the lead lap. The field getting ever so smaller as this race starts to wind down. But the finish of this one is going to be relatively interesting. So as they work their way now through turns 3 and 4, of course, next week, these drivers will be making their way to Darlington Raceway. just in time for what would be throwback weekend. For basically the running of their Southern 500 as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. But the Southern 500 will be indeed next Friday night at the Darlington Raceway under the lights. So that's going to be a really fun race. Hopefully you guys are able to tune in Friday night live 8:30 p.m. Eastern time right here on Twitch. It's going to be a fun one. And we really hope you guys are able to make it, enjoy the action. And as far as today's race, hopefully you guys are enjoying the action for what it is thus far. But looks like we're going to take one to go this time around. That is indeed the case. Fitzy, Felber, Terry Walker, Travis Crampton, Tyler Belladonna, Derek Hamill, Rogel Dorn, Tatiana Noguera all lined up on the inside. We are inside of 30 laps to go here in the Geico 500. And of course, it'll take a little bit before the 9 and the 16 can get ahead of the 14, the 17, the 14, the 7, and the 78 on the scoreboard. Mostly because, again, they are 6 laps down. And all 3 of those other cars that have retired from the race, they have been in the garage area for less than 6 laps. But that's all going to change once we get back under the green flag and go racing again. We're going to be racing. We're going to be going back to green with 27 laps to go here at the Talladega Super Speedway for race number 8 on the circuit for the McDonald's Cup Series. It's going to be a fun one. A fun final 27 laps. Can we go green the rest of the way? Or are we going to see at least maybe 1 or 2 more caution flags? My gut says, my gut says, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm being very indecisive right now. My apologies. My brain says, let's just make it to the end. Let's just make it to the finish. But my gut tells me we're not done with caution flags yet. We might have at least 1, 2, maybe 3 more in the arsenal before this thing is said and done. Let's find out. Pace cars off. Dale Johnson II is going to lead them back to the green flag for 27 laps to go here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Here we go. Green is back in the air. Even the lappers are getting pretty racy. Travis Crampton goes underneath of the 48 of Terry Walker for position. But this is also going to hold up John Andrews and as well as the 38 of Damian Kyle Wood. Roberto Crown Jr. up on the outside, hanging around inside of the top 5. He's trying to get up there and mix it up with leaders, but he's getting held up pretty badly as well. The top 3 have all checked out, though, with Johnson, Gronkowski, and as well as the 15 of Skylar Taylor. They've all checked out from the rest of the pack that is getting held up by the slower traffic. Here we go, 3 wide for the race lead amongst these 3. And it looks like just at the stripe, I think. Yeah, look at that. That's how close it was at the line. Between the 27 and the 36, Johnson would have led it by a matter of maybe a piece of paper. I know I said that before. I'm probably going to say it a lot because that's the only thing that's on my brain right now is a piece of paper. But in the meantime, Taylor moves up into second. Johnson's going to lose touch with the top 2 for the moment, and here comes the rest of the other cars. Edson Hernandez has joined the party. This is the first time we're actually talking about Hernandez inside of the top 10 at all. Same for Kyler Sustry, at least being in contention is for winning this race. Sustry has moved his way up into the 6th position. But up front, of course, Chad Gronkowski has checked out by a quarter of a second from the number 15. And that may sound good, but at a place like here at Talladega or even a place like Daytona, that's not good news at all, because if you get too big of a lead out here, all these other cars behind you, they're gonna get lined up and they're gonna eat you alive for lunch. So far though, things are looking pretty stout. Taylor drives to the inside of the 36. He'll go to the race lead. Johnson getting some help from Kyler Sustry. Everybody lined up on the bottom and getting pretty decently organized. However, the only problem is from everybody else on back behind Michael Young, they are all spread out. And that is definitely, and that's obviously something that nobody back here really wants. Looks like Nia Steidel, Jeremiah Simpson, both of those drivers working together, trying to get by the 47 of Derek Hamill. They'll successfully get by the 47. 71 now laps complete. 23 to go here at Talladega Superspeedway for the running of the Geico 500. RCR cars 27-31 currently leading the pack. That's Dale Johnson in the 27, Edson Hernandez in the 31. And Taylor trying to make something happen. He tucked low for a moment, tucked back in line. Now he's ducking low again. He just might get the help from the 18 of Young and maybe the 36 of Gronkowski. They pull up in an absolute hurry. There's Young moving up into third, right there. Gonna pull down to the inside. And so far, top four are all nose to tails, single file for the moment. Hernandez was just right there, tucking in a fifth position, but they're starting to get really racy now. 3 wide for second, at least almost made an attempt for 3 wide for second, but Taylor looks like got out of the gas, and now he's starting to fade back. Was going to try to cover Steidel, well, it would have been for the 6th position, but so far hasn't quite been the case. Actually, for the 5th spot, Steidel moving her way back inside of the top 5 with 21 laps to go. Now 3 wide for second. Hernandez underneath of both Gronkowski and Young. As Johnson continuing to hold on to the race lead, Steidel's going to join the party. And so will some of these other cars as well. Some of these other lead lap cars as well. With the, I would say, the possible... Actually, no, there's really no exception here. Because everybody that's currently up in this pack is all in the lead lap, and they all have a shot to win this race. Coming down to it. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty of this race. 20 laps of racing to go here at Talladega. 5 cars, all 5 of those cars inside of the top 5, single file. And it looks like Sustry, everybody in this second pack, Sustry, Young, Gronkowski, Damian Kyle Wood, Crown, they've all started to slip back. I mean, they've really slipped back, and it's almost like they lifted and got out of the gas, and they have not really been up to par since they did that. But it's currently 5 cars that have broken away, single file, for the time being. Hernandez drives low, Taylor drives low, 3 wide for the top position. And that it's going to be Johnson that's going to retain that race lead. Again, the monster outside line proving to be such a huge factor. And that could be the race-winning move if you're up there on that outside line and you start rocketing around everybody. You might have a shot to possibly win this race and might use it to your advantage when it comes down to winning. Ooh, Simpson is all over the back end of that number 15. of Skylar Taylor heading through 1 and 2. That could have looked way worse there. But coming back to the trioval this time around. Looks like everybody behind them. Wood, Crown, Hubert, Savitali has moved his way back inside of the top 10. He's back in contention. Gronkowski, Sustry, they are all in the mix to try to go for this race win, so long as none of those other drivers get out of the gas. But I'm not 100% sure yet. We're about to find out. It looks like Wood is really checked up, and that's going to stack some of these other drivers up as well. Meanwhile, Taylor goes to the race lead. We missed the change for the top spot, but you're going to see it on the scoring pylon. With 12. Actually, is it 12? No, 17 laps to go. Sorry. Top 5 yet again, single file. Hernandez driving low underneath of the 41 of Steidl. Johnson basically saying, what are teammates? Drives low underneath of his own teammate, the 31, to go to third. And Steidl, in the meantime, is going to try to go for the race lead, but we've got some of that slower traffic coming up with the 41, with the 98 and the 21. They're going to catch him as they go through 1 and 2. Steidl's going to lead this lap. Oh boy, here we go. Where's Steidl going to go? Steidl will go high. Johnson's going to stay with him. Johnson will stay with the 41 of Steidl. The 15 of Skylar Taylor will follow, and they are starting to stack them up. Taylor just barely holding on to at least a little whiff of the draft of the 27, just to kind of hang on, stay in contention. At least for the moment. Here comes Dale Johnson to the inside. This is the battle for the race lead coming up on lap 79 completed. But Steidl holding on to the top spot around the outside. So far doing an absolutely amazing job of holding on to first place. Here comes Skylar Taylor down low underneath of the 27. As they head back down into turn 3, so far the top 3 have all broken away single file until you get over here. Looks like Crown and also Savitali, they're looking to join the party. Savitali is trying to go for his second win of the season. He won at Martinsville just a few weeks ago. He's trying to add another one to his resume here at Talladega. He might have a decent shot at doing it. Meanwhile, Taylor Johnson still slugging it out for that second position. This might also pull the 51 into the mix, but we've also got the 1 of Rogel Dorn to deal with. Probably once we come off of turn number 4. Taylor trying to get underneath of the 41. He's going to do just that. Steidl's going to use the 1 as a pick, though. That was amazing. Heads up driving by the 41 of Nia Steidl to use the 1 of Rogel Dorn as a pick. That was beautiful. However, there's a problem. There was also a wreck that happened in turn 1. This might have involved Derek Campbell, but we stay green. There's a big problem that Nia Steidl has. She is way too far out. At least about 3/4 of a second, but now at this point, all these drivers, all they're going to do is they're going to eat this 41 up for lunch. Coming around to 12 laps of racing to go here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Hubert trying to go low on the 20. Wasn't quite able to make the run successful. Had to get out of the gas. Gonna lose a little bit of momentum. Hernandez trying to go around the outside. Can't quite get that done. Doesn't have the run. He'll tuck right back in behind Jeremiah Simpson as they hit the back straightaway once again. "11 laps of racing to go when they cross the stripe, this time by with 83 laps complete. Steidl trying to get her first NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series win. She is on track to do just that, but she's got to hold on to this race lead for the next 11 laps. 11 more laps. Steidl has to hang on. Got Tyler Belladonna straight ahead, who is also off the pace in that number 4. I don't think Steidl or anybody else is going to have as much of an issue trying to get by the 4 as they did with someone like Tatiana Noguera, for instance, who has tons of damage on her 21 machine. Let's see this. Steidl, Simpson, they both go low, almost getting into the 4. And now, here we go. They're starting to stack them up a little bit more. I think Belladonna was trying to get to the inside, but hold on there, buddy. You still got some other drivers that are trying to get by and try to go for this race win. Here we go. 10 to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. Steidl again. A little over a third of a second advantage. 4/10 between herself and the 20 of Jeremiah Simpson. Everybody's starting to get organized. Single file. Here comes Dale Johnson to the inside to try to go for that second position. He's going to bring the 38 of Damon Kylewood with him. So will Michael Young, and as well as the 23 of Matthew Hubert. They're all going to follow. And now, here comes the 20s. Here he comes again. This time trying to get underneath of the 41. Couldn't quite make the run stick. Here comes Wood. Now the run for second is on. 3 wide for the 4th position. Hubert trying to get that from Simpson and Young. So far, he's going to get it. And now, Steidl, at this point, playing the role of the Pied Piper. Trying to hold off the bottom, trying to hold off the top, but more importantly, trying to hold off the bottom because that is the most preferred line around the racetrack. And so far, she's doing an absolutely amazing job of that. Look at this move. Hubert tried to get by Damian Kyle Wood, but Wood just put a massive block on the 23. So now Hubert is going to cross the line in 3rd. Savitali trying to go for win number 2 in the season, currently sitting in the 4th position. Other than Alex Savitali, everybody inside this lead group has a chance to get their first win in the McDonald's Cup Series. Remember, Alex Savitali, as I mentioned, trying to go for 2 wins this year. He got one at Martinsville, trying to get one here at Dega, but so far, he's going to fall all the way to the back end of this pack. Now, here comes Matthew Hubert to the inside of Steidl. This is going to be for the lead. He's going to make the run stick. He pulls up alongside. Right up across the stripe. Steidl is going to lead that lap, but just barely over the 23. And it looks like Hubert's going to have some help. Thank you, Captain Poop. Greatly appreciate it. Down the back straightaway they go. Steidl is just going to barely pull out ahead. They're now 3 wide because Michael Young has made the move underneath of the 36 and the 38. That's going to break Gronkowski away from Steidl. That is definitely not what they needed whatsoever. Thank you so much for gifting Yuki with the tier 1 sub, Cap. Greatly appreciate it. 6 laps to go. Hubert the leader. Michael Young going for that top position, edging ahead through 1 and 2. Hitting the back straightaway once again, full song, nearly 3 wide. Roberto Crown Jr. moving up into third, trying to go for first place. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make that run stick. Steidl starting to fade back. So far, this day's been pretty good, Cap. And we're getting ready to close out this race. 5 laps of racing to go. Here at Talladega, Skylar Taylor the leader. And they are 4 wide for second, 4 abreast for the second position as Skylar Taylor is gone. Taylor is out of here, and that is not good news for the 15 whatsoever. At this point, Skylar Taylor better brace himself for what is about to happen. Johnson and the rest of the pack now pull up to the back end of this number 15. They were 4 wide for just a moment, but now here comes Dale Johnson to the inside. This is going to be the move for the race lead. 4 laps of racing to go. Johnson's not able to make it stick. Taylor retains. Got to watch the outside. Here comes Chad Gronkowski moving up into the second position. Gets down in front of the 27. He's got a great enough run. He'll try to get to the inside of the 15 as they hit the back straightaway once again, but no help is there, but he's still got a good enough run. Heading back into 3. Simpson had to get out of the gas, so he lost a lot of momentum there. But keep an eye on that 41 and Steidl. Steidl is starting to come back into the frame. Here they come to 3 laps of racing to go. Steidl moves up into 4th. Johnson is right there. Johnson's going to try to make the run for the top position as they head back into turn number 1. But they have to deal with they have to deal with slow traffic one more time in the form of Colin Block. What is going to happen? They catch the 98, and they are going to split them just fine. Couple close calls there. Block almost basically squeezed Hernandez up into the outside wall. That would have been pretty disastrous. That would have given the win over to Dale Johnson, who also has himself a pretty big lead over the 36. They come to 2 laps to go. Taylor 3rd, Savitali 4th. He's going to try to go for 3rd on the 15 now as they head back into 1. Hubert is there. Steidl back in the frame. Lap and a half to go this time by. Savitali's going to throw the block on the 23. Going to try to use that run to his advantage. They're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. Here comes Alex Savitali to the inside to take the top position as they work their way through 3 and 4 heading into the tri-oval. They're going to be faced with the white flag here at Talladega Superspeedway. 1 lap to go. Savitali's leading. Will he be leading coming back to the checkers? Let's find out. Savitali again trying to go for his 2nd win of the season. Hubert trying to go for his 1st. They work their way off of 2. Down the back straightaway one last time. Is Hubert going to try to make the move, or is he going to stay right on the back bumper and push this 26 to the win? Here comes Matthew Hubert to the inside. He's got some help from the 36 of Chad Gronkowski. But look at Nia Steidl trying to pull up with a whole lot of other cars directed behind her. Hubert's going to take the race lead. Here comes the 36 of Chad Gronkowski. Get out your camera. Side by side, it is going to be Gronkowski at the stripe. He takes the win here at Talladega by 3/100ths of a second. Chad Gronkowski is going to go to victory lane. That was unbelievable what we saw here in these final laps. Chad Gronkowski pulling out the last lap pass. Photo finish. Gronkowski's gonna get the job done. So 8 races, 8 different winners so far this season. I thought Savitali was going to get his second win of the year, but that was just not the case. Came close, though, but no cigar. Gronkowski nabs the win over the number 23 of Matthew Huber, who came so close. He'll have to settle for second. Savitali third. Nia Steidel fourth. Dale Johnson completes the top 5 with Roberto Crown Jr. 6th, Michael Young 7th, Skylar Taylor 8th, Jeremiah Simpson 9th, and Damian Kyle Wood will round out your top 10. Take a look at the rest of your results from 11th on down to the 16th position. BB Haynes, he was the last car that finished on the lead lap. From 17th on down to 23rd, they finished 1 lap down or more. And there's the rest of your field that had finished the race behind the wall. From Derek Hamill down to Noguera, Durrani, Wells, Jones, Moscow, Floyd, Cologne, O'Brien, Egan, Cars, Vidal, Adams, Parrish, DeFeo, Stapleton, Rampus, Murray, and also Sebastian Palmer. All those drivers have already packed up, and they are getting ready for next Friday when we go to Darlington. That is going to be an interesting weekend. But as far as today, it is all about Chad Gronkowski getting his first career win here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Big congratulations, huge congratulations to the number 36 of Chad Gronkowski and his team. Ladies, gentlemen, whether if you're watching this here on Twitch, thank you guys a lot for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And as far as same goes to YouTube, keep an eye on the NRLOA Discord for the point standings. Keep an eye over there. Those will be coming up very, very shortly. A little bit after this premiere concludes. But in the meantime, of course, want to thank you guys a lot for watching. Thank you so much for being here. One more time, congratulations to Chad Gronkowski on winning here today at Talladega. And as always, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. We'll see you next Friday at Darlington.